He pulls her in, he throws her out. And I've been there, trust me. It's kind of bringing back crazy memories that I had forgotten about, but now, because it was 5 years ago. But he's going to keep playing this game of like, you're mine, you're not mine. You're mine, you're not mine. And I feel for Blake. As much as I do not like her or her energy, I feel for her because he was also older. And I really think, especially as somebody that has dated a lot of older men, um, hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. My name is Hallie, so grateful to have you all. I am doing a Ryan Reynolds breakdown. Well, I'm doing a reading on him. I've never done one on him solo. I did one on Blake Lively. I've done a few on It Ends With Us. I'm actually going to record another one after this. You'll probably see that It Ends With Us first if you're not a member. If you want to become a member, check it out. You have early access to videos and different other types of perks. I have 2 different memberships, just to let you know. So I'm doing Ryan Reynolds today, and I feel like some people have asked me for him, but I was hesitant to do it at first because I don't like to be inundated with a lot of information. But I feel like it's very important to do him, especially because I've always suspected, especially as more accurate things come out about It Ends With Us, you know, a lot of my predictions have been accurate. I do have a playlist for it up, so check that out. But a lot of what I predicted has come true. Now, I had somebody comment because I posted that I have always felt like Ryan was at the bottom of this, and also Blake is involved. I 100% believe that. And I will elaborate more on it when I do my other video on It Ends With Us. But as somebody that's been with Scorpios, I was with one famous Scorpio, and it tarnished for me. I will never be with a Scorpio in relationships. I love the woman. A lot of my really good friends are Scorpio women. I love them so much. But in relationships, Scorpio men can be very, very controlling. And I'm going to tell you guys a quick personal story before we get into the Ryan Reynolds of it all. Oh, his breakdown, his chart and everything. So if you're not into personal stories, I do have a timestamp up. You can always jump ahead. But something about Ryan Reynolds that just a lot of the story that's coming out kind of reminds me of what happened with me and the Scorpio man. Like I said, he's famous. I don't want to say who it is. But and I don't want to say what he does and stuff like that. He's in music. That's all you need to know. So we had a common friend, you know, he courted me. We met, I don't want to say where, but we met. He courted me for a while, and I was hesitant because I don't really like certain entertainers and stuff like that. So I was very hesitant in the beginning, like very, very hesitant. And it took months. In fact, I was in a relationship at the time, but it took months of him pursuing me for me to be like, okay, maybe I should give him a chance. But in the pursuit rather, I had told a mutual friend that I go to Soul Cycle, and I think he might have overheard or something like that. I don't really remember. It was about 6 years ago. And I said I go to Soul Cycle Hollywood, and because he was like he wants to go to Soul Cycle, and at that time I was like obsessed with Soul Cycle. I used to get it for free because I was a yoga teacher, and I used to go like 5-6 times a week. So I told him, yeah, I go to Soul Cycle Hollywood. I have this 2 favorite instructors that I always go to. And then I think a week or 2 later, no joke, I literally see a huge billboard of him next to the Soul Cycle in Hollywood. And I was like, what a coincidence, right? So just different things like that he would do. He, for example, if I had, and this is when we had broken up, when I broke up with him after he cheated on me, and when we were together, he was so controlling that even if I looked in another man's direction, if it was even like next to him, next to the guy, and he thought I was looking at a man, he would punish me. So I strongly believe he's never admitted this to me to this day. We don't talk anymore. I wouldn't want to talk to him. But I strongly believe that he, what was my point? His cheating was punishment to me, because I remember so specifically, I used to post a lot of yoga pictures, which I've taken down now. And I'd post a lot of yoga pictures, and a lot of them I'd be half naked because I used to do hot yoga. And I posted a picture of me next to my friend's ex-husband, who was her husband at the time, my really good friend, and my other good friend's boyfriend. And it was just by proxy, because we're all practicing yoga together. And I showed them by proxy, because it was just, just an error. Not even really an error. I can post whatever I want. But yeah, I posted it up, and that was the backlash. I believe he's never admitted it was him cheating, which is why I ended the relationship. So, in a nutshell, Scorpios, if you're with a Scorpio man, just make sure, a lot of them can be very controlling. Diddy, Leonardo DiCaprio, very, very controlling. Just make sure that you have a strong sense of self, and make sure, in fact, I think Scorpio women do well with Scorpio men. They're very good at reading them. But Aquarius, I'm a Sun Aquarius, they are not for me. They are definitely not for me. And that relationship with that Scorpio man taught me that. I just see, even in the past, I've been courted by Scorpio men, and they tend to have, in general, because I'm generalizing, they tend to have fragile egos. And if you do one little thing, they lash out at you, But they also are very loving. So and this specific musician wrote me a beautiful album, and that's why I ended up being with him, because he wrote me this beautiful album. And I even remember I was actually with somebody else at the time, and that guy wasn't that serious, and I ended up leaving him for the Scorpio, which I think maybe that's my karma. It's my karma. But I've just felt like at the time I was 30, and I was like, I'm not getting younger. If this guy's serious about being in a relationship, then I might as well pursue it. So maybe that was my karma for leaving somebody, but he really wasn't. It wasn't intentional. I had planned on leaving the relationship, and I was like, well, this guy wants to be with me, so let me see where it goes, And I don't regret it. It was worth it. It just taught me about Scorpio men in general. It takes a lot of them, they need to really, really heal from a lot of the abandonment issues, similar to Aquarius. And being misunderstood. I think when you grow up being misunderstood, you harbor a lot of resentment, and you take it out on the person that you're with. And I definitely felt like that about him. And even to this day, when we broke up, he wrote a song about me. I'm not going to say the title, because you'll know who it is. And it's his number one song, which is kind of weird. And first time I heard it, I was sick to my stomach. But I've grown to appreciate his music, and I've grown to appreciate him as a person, and from away from me, and what he brought to my life. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, because there's no point in harboring resentment towards anyone. But that was my lesson about Scorpio men. So when I saw these bits of Ryan Reynolds, I was like, oh my gosh, I went through something very similar. And this, I'll get into it, and it ends with us. I'll get into that, and it ends with us. So let me start the Ryan Reynolds reading. His chart, his main placements, his sun is in Scorpio, moon is in Scorpio, and rising is in Virgo. His Venus is in Sagittarius. So I'm using Earth Woman Tarot deck. I love this tarot deck so much. Behind me is a print that I got from her Etsy store. Her name's Tarn Ellis. I might write it, if I remember, I might write it in the description. And she sent me a sun print too, which is very sweet. So I'm very, very grateful. Okay, so I pulled up past, present, future, and well-being. So I'm going to start with well-being, and it's Two of Swords. So this just gives me energy about his life. You see, she's blindfolded, has two swords. It just gives me an energy about his life. And I feel, and this is something that I've seen with Sun and Scorpio men, they want the person that they're with to be devoted to them. Similar to Capricorn men, actually. that they want the person that they're with to be devoted to them and to show them all their feelings. And I think he's had relationships in the past that he's never felt like he's been fully loved. And it's caused a lot of insecurity in him. When I did my first It Ends With Us video, I said that he is very insecure. I said that he is trying to control the situation. I said that he's unhappy with Blake having 2 different lives. I think maybe I did the second one that I said that. But there's a lot. Insecurity has been a thread throughout his life. You know, when I used to see him, you know, and it's so funny because I was thinking, I just recently watched my first video that I did about It Ends With Us. And I said that I used to like Ryan Reynolds. And I don't know why I said that because I never really liked him. I was like, I don't know why I said that. I never really liked him. I used to watch Two Guys and a Girl. First it was Two Guys and a Girl in a Pizza Place. I used to love that show. But I liked more of his co-stars than him. And Deadpool, I never saw Deadpool. So I don't know why I said that I liked him. I think I got into this whole like Hollywood spell about him because I never really liked him. And what he reminds me of is, you know, in Recess, there's that guy, like TJ is his name, TJ, where, and this is no shade because I've been skinny, I've been chubby, I've been fat, I've been all sizes, you know, I'm not shading his weight. But if you grow up with weight insecurities, if you grow up with like weight problems, you develop insecurities, especially if you're chubby, you know, I was once a chubby child, as a side note, so I totally understand. But I feel like with TJ, Recess, back to the TJ analogy, is that his name, TJ from Recess? If you watch Disney Recess, he always has like the quarterback jacket, it's green. And I only had that reference because I feel like he was like the TJ type in high school. He was a little chubby, you know, he tried to get along with everybody. Some people didn't like him, and it caused, as he got older, a lot of insecurity. Insecurity when he was little, but also even more insecurity when he was older. But I think the people he takes it out on most are women. Particularly women that he's with. So, with his past being Ace of Wands, let me clarify this because I see here him having like a dream, having lots of drive, and it must take a lot of drive to get to the point of 300 million. I was actually talking to a colleague the other day and I was like, you know, I told her I never liked Ryan Reynolds. She's like, really? She's like, I love him. And I said, you know, it's always made me question, if somebody's an actor, right? And I've been with many actors, so I know this very well. I don't know his schedule exactly, but you're on set a lot. When you're not on set, you don't really have that much time unless you're with family, friends. So for him to have Mint Mobile, for him to have all these different business ventures, aviation, he either was not sleeping at all or he bullied the person out of the company in order to make that much money. And I don't know for sure 100%. It's just my theory and the intuition that I get is that he probably bullied these people out of, you know how some people, how they become rich is that they see a company rise, and then when it's about to dip, they swoop in and they save it, which is strategy. Jay-Z does that, and it's very smart. But it's not the same as building it from the bottom up. It's not. So let's see. I see a lot of dreams, Ace of Wands, a lot of dreams. So I see here he had, 7 of Cups, Temperance, and 5 of Wands. So I see here he had a lot of dreams, obviously, to become an actor. And he really, and I give actors a lot of credit, you know, to constantly be rejected, it's tough. It's tough. So beyond that, he persevered. But I think his internal didn't. Like, his internal still remembered that he's one of many. 5 of Wands often about competition. You know, he's one of many. He always had to compete. And Scorpios are very good at competition, but sometimes it eats them up inside. So, with his present being the Hierophant, which is the card of Taurus, let's see. The energy that I get, especially with this whole Justin situation, is that he's going to be... Oy, oy, oy. So, I think, and now that I just got goosebumps, number one. And the second thing that I'm remembering is that King and Queen of Swords are soulmates. But in between is Five of Swords. So there's definitely some kind of separation right now. I did predict that they're going to get divorced in the next 2 or 3 years. It's not my doing. It's not my will. I read what the energy pulls. If it were up to me, in fact, it's not up to me. None of this is up to me. I just hope that their children are okay because, you know, you see both. You see people that grow up in dysfunctional parents that stay together that are screwed up. You see people that get divorced where they're alienated from one of their parents or, you know, and don't have the proper means, resources to heal, that are also screwed up. So just as long as they're healthy, which I don't see that being the case with their children, and I feel for their kids a lot in this. But as I saw these cards come out, I remembered somebody saying that he punishes her, and I see that very strong. He's punishing her right now. Five of Swords, punishing her, isolating her, giving her the cold treatment, you know, the silent treatment. I wouldn't be surprised if he suffers from NPD. And I know a lot of people say that they suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. I've only known one ex to have this, and he was a Sun and Scorpio. That's the Sun and Scorpio that I'm talking about. And, you know, when I went through it with my therapist, all the stages that they use, it's very... This energy gives me that a lot. And I'm not saying he reminds me of my ex, but I kind of am. Just his energy, you know? Because I think sometimes as women we project our past onto others, but this is not projection. This is clearly... Sun and Scorpio men can have this about them if they don't heal. Every sign can have its thing if we don't heal. That's why I'm big on healing, big on therapy, yoga, meditation, and accountability for your behavior. Which I think Blake does have some accountability in what's happening right now. As did I, you know. And I'm not saying that if you're physical, like in DV is a tough one. DV is very tough. So aside from DV in relationships, we all play a part in a toxic relationship. We just do. Whether we allow it, whether we're getting something from it, you know. And yeah, so there's a difference between fearing for your life and staying with something because you find it entertaining, or because it's all you know, or because mentally because they can mentally, you know, the love bombing is so real. So real. And I definitely see he has love bombing tendencies, and then he isolates, which he's isolating her right now. Deep isolation. So I think I'm just remembering now, I saw a clip of him at Hugh Jackman's show, where he's talking about Hugh Jackman's the best person he knows alive, and it's like, you have a wife, why would you say that about somebody else? It's just crazy. So with his future being Four Pentacles is about healing, and being stable, money-wise, saving. I think at this point in his life, it's sad to say, but he doesn't possess the qualities of somebody that would, at almost 50, want to change. Unless something drastic happens to him, which I don't think is going to happen, I don't see him changing. But I did see him leaving Blake for somebody younger, which is often what narcissistic types do. So with Page of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, and the Death card. So he is going to try to revive the relationship. He pulls her in, he throws her out. And I've been there, trust me. It's kind of bringing back crazy memories that I had forgotten about, but now, because it was 5 years ago. But he's going to keep playing this game of like, you're mine, you're not mine. You're mine, you're not mine. And I feel for Blake. As much as I do not like her or her energy, I feel for her because he was also older. And I really think, especially as somebody that has dated a lot of older men, I need accountability too, but I think the older person, through experience, should know better. You know, just that's just my opinion. You can disagree with me about that, and if you do, let me know. I do want to hear the other argument. But I'm just saying, as adults, especially because she was very young when they met, you know. And now that I'm remembering it, I remember Penn Badgley came out because at the time, I used to read gossip columns, and I remember, what did I can't remember when I read gossip column, but I remember seeing an article or a headline saying Penn Badgley blames Ryan Reynolds for breakup. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't think I read the article. I might have read it and I've forgotten it. But all of that story has just disappeared, you know? So Ryan's very good at manipulating, controlling, and distorting the truth to suit himself. And unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to change. Some people, I used to have a yoga student who was so lovely. I miss him so much. But one day he told me that everybody has, you know, before we come to life, if you're into this kind of stuff, we make a pact with the higher being, whether you believe it's God, the divine, Allah, whoever you believe it is. And we say, this is what I'm going to complete in life. And some people fall to the wayside. Some people don't get it. Some people feel like they were too weak. They become overcome by darkness. And even them, it's still their mission in life to be dark, you know, in a weird, twisted way. They're meant to teach us what not to be like. And I see with everything coming out about him, I definitely see that to be true about him, is that I think examples like him are to show us when you are greedy, when you are controlling, when you're manipulative, you can have the life of your dreams. But if you're unhappy inside, none of it matters. Because look, the man who is healthier, I'm talking about Justin Baldoni, healthier, lighter spirit, has less money, a real happy family and kids. Let me not bring the kids into this because I don't know Ryan's kids. When you live authentically and you come from a good place, you win. And it's not just about finances. So that's what I have for you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Take care.